Hey everybody, welcome, welcome to Hidden Horror. Thank you for spending this time with me. I appreciate that. Let's get started. Hey everybody. Hello, my friends. How are you? Welcome to Hidden Horror. How you been doing? What's been going on with you? How's your family? How's work going? Are you busy? Because I've been busy, baby. But I'm here today because sometimes stories hit me and they hit me like a ton of bricks. And I have to just do a little due diligence and find out, hey, what is going on? So I'm not sure if you heard or not, but in Georgia, there was a young man found in a vehicle during a routine traffic stop. He was deceased. And you know what? That got my attention. So I'm here and I want to talk about it. I want to share um, the story just to highlight it. And I'm wondering, how does this happen? How does this happen in a community? How are you driving around with a deceased person in the car? So that's what I'm here today to go over. Oh, 1 second. I'm trying to get to the article. I haven't logged in a while, so everything needs my password, needs an update. I've been pretty busy. You guys know that I have a lot going on already. One thing I really don't talk about is some of the home improvement work that I do. I have a historic home that needs a ton of work, and I've been doing some of that work. So that's been keeping me from my videos a little bit. Um, it's physical labor, it's time. It just takes a lot of work to make it happen. So that's what I've been kind of away doing over the last 6 weeks. I have been getting a lot of progress, and I also have um, a page for my home because it is historic, and people like to know what are you doing? What did you do? What material did you use? Um, they like to see the before and after, things like that. I'm just going to have to give up on using this because I don't remember. Okay. I'm going to now focus on the first article. Well, let me tell you, the reason I have interest is my interest lies in how does one get found with a deceased body in the car? You're in the car with the deceased body. Should more have been done? Should some initial charges, should a 48 hold have been done? Um, I'm sure the family is concerned. Initially, they were saying they were not notified. They actually went and tracked Malachi's location, allegedly, and that's how they arrived at the scene. And they came upon the scene where police were there. Extremely sad, tragic. Happened? How did he get there? What was the exchange to get him up at night to go and meet this person? What was he meeting this person for? They say there allegedly it was to sell a pow pow, a GUN. Um, what happened in that car? What happened in that interaction? Was this a ruse for a robbery? Was this a ruse to possibly You found the gun you wanted, and now you're going to possibly, allegedly, maybe rob that person for the GUN, or was it just a setup to unalive Malachi altogether? There's a lot of questions. Um, what happened in that car? Did you not pay for the GUN? Why is this happening at night in a vehicle? If you ever want to sell something, if you're selling something online, meet someone at a police station, meet someone at a public place where there are cameras, where you can have other people there, where it's a time where people are actively coming and going. If you don't want to go to a police station, you can go to the parking lot of a shopping mall. You can meet the person, someone where there is activity, where there is cameras, and you want to do it in daytime hours, not at night, because people can't see. People aren't traveling as much as night. You want to always think safety first, protect yourself, please. Um, and take someone with you. Don't go alone. Um, I know a lot of men don't feel like, oh, I need to take someone with me, and women tend to be, I want to take someone with me. I want someone there to witness what is happening. So, a second pair of eyes, things like that. If you can, take someone with you, and do it in a populated area with cameras in daytime hours. Maybe don't do it after 5 or 6 p.m. People tend to have their day wrapped up and are going home. They're going home to cook. They're going home to go to sleep, to rest, to prepare for the next day. And they're not as active after 5, 6 p.m. So if you do have to meet someone, try to meet them in daytime hours or on the weekend early, on a Saturday, and after 9 a.m. where people are up, they're taking care of business. You have to think about all of that when you're putting yourself potentially in a situation where you're meeting someone you don't know. You don't know their intentions. Maybe you have something that's very valuable that they want, but they're unwilling to pay for. Or maybe something goes wrong. Maybe you don't agree on the price. Maybe the person doesn't have all the money. Anything can happen. You can have a situation that turns volatile and sometimes deadly very quickly, okay? Well, that is just a piece of advice from me to you. But let's get to the article. The article is on Fox 5 Atlanta. The title of the article is Douglas County Sheriff's Office releases update on death of Malachi Mitchell. The article is by Joyce Lupiani and it's dated February 6, 2025. So there's some three little points, three briefs that they added to the article. They said that there have been new details released. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office confirmed that 21-year-old Malachi A. Mitchell was shot inside a vehicle after a gun sale turned violent, with the driver firing a separate firearm during a struggle. So that tells me right there that if I want to say allegedly Malachi was going there to sell a gun, the person that came to meet him also brought their own gun. So you have two guns, at least two guns in the vehicle. The gun that allegedly Malachi is going to sell, and allegedly the gun that the driver has brought with him. Okay, so Malachi is shot in this car. So there's something that doesn't happen right. Something goes wrong in this sale. It could be price, it could be money, it could be I change my mind. It could be I'm not satisfied with the quality of the weapon, or it's not what you described, or if it's a different gun, whatever. Something happened in this car and violence exploded in this car. And now young Malachi is deceased. The second brief is no arrest yet. The driver, who has not been identified, was questioned and released, with authorities stating that they will not rush to judgment as the investigation continues. So, is the driver saying that something happened in the car and it's almost as if there was self-defense, that he then pulled a weapon? Is the driver possibly saying that Malachi was there to maybe possibly rob him for his money and not sell the gun at all? We don't know. But we do know the police are saying they're going to take their time. They're going to do an investigation. And what could that be? Could that be looking at the text messages, maybe online if they found each other online, if the gun was allegedly sold and advertised online? Um, what kind of messages afterwards? Are there any witnesses that saw what happened, heard what happened? Is there any video footage in the area where they were? That's why it's so important to think things through. Definitely before you enter a situation, especially when you talk about selling a weapon. Guns are very expensive now. They're not $100 anymore. They're $300, $400 and up. So depending on what kind of weapon it is, it could have been $700, $800. I know from experience, guns are not cheap anymore. Um, the third little bullet is family demands answers. Mitchell's mother questioned why the driver was allowed to go free, while the sheriff's office revealed that the driver and his family have received death threats from a local gang. Well, I can understand how mom feels when police effectuate an arrest. They want to have everything ready to go. Now, they could have done a 48-hour hold, and then released him if they didn't have enough information and details to effectuate an arrest. But you don't want to prematurely take that step and arrest someone if you don't have the supporting evidence. And what we do know is there were two males in a vehicle. Malachi was shot. We don't know the why. We don't know the how. We know the when, but we don't know the how and why. And they're going to have to figure that out. They're going to have to see if there was a battle. Again, if there's any witnesses, if there's any video, because really, Malachi, there's no one to fight for him or speak for him. It is this other person that can set the narrative. And that's why it's important to do the investigative work, to look and see, was there an exchange? Was there a plan to steal, rob? On either side, we don't know, right? Okay, let's move on. Let's get to the article. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office has released new details regarding the January 29th shooting death of 21-year-old Malachi A. Mitchell, whose body was discovered in a vehicle during a routine traffic stop near Thornton Road and Interstate 20. Authorities say their investigation remains ongoing and no arrests have been made at this time. So let me share a picture of Malachi. Just give me 1 second, please. Sorry, I have allergies, so I'm going to do a little sniffling. I apologize. My allergies, I can't really do a lot about it. This is a picture of Malachi. He's 21 years old when he was shot and died on January 29th. Malachi Mitchell, okay? Let's continue. Deputies conducting a traffic stop on January 29th discovered a deceased passenger, later identified as Malachi A. Mitchell. The driver of the vehicle, whose identity has not been released, was taken to the Douglas County Sheriff's Office for questioning. He reportedly cooperated fully with investigators and was later released. So it is not a situation where the alleged shooter was released at the scene. The sheriff's department, they brought him to the police station. They questioned him, and for whatever information that they had at the time, they were able to release him later because they don't have enough information yet, is my guess. Okay, let's continue. According to the sheriff's office, the investigation has revealed that Mitchell met with the driver, who was known to him to sell a gun. So the story is, and I'm saying the story is because we don't know factually, right? But they're saying that this all began, it started because Mr. Malachi Mitchell, was selling a gun, okay? After the sale was completed, so the sale is completed, the gun is there, the money is there, the exchange has happened, okay? A struggle broke out in the vehicle. Well, what would the struggle be for? Would it be for the money? Would it be for the gun? Would it be for both, right? Who started the struggle? And the driver pulled out a separate firearm and shot Mitchell, okay? Following the shooting, the driver continued driving and contacted someone for advice. The individual, now a witness in the case, told investigators the driver was in a state of panic, believed he had been set up, and thought he was being followed. So, again, this is interesting to me. I would like to know where on the body was Mr. Mitchell shot? Because from my experience, I have seen people that were set up, and typically there were multiple people in the vehicle, and typically the shot was from behind. It was not from the side, lateral. It was from behind. So you had a wound in the back of the head. So was the shot at the angle where a person is side by side, or was the shot from an angle like the person was behind them? Where was the shot? And then they say that there was a struggle, there was some movement in the car, some tussling, and this driver was able allegedly to get his weapon and shoot Mr. Malachi. So my question is, if the sale was over and the driver already had Mr. Malachi's gun, because they said the sale was complete, the money exchange, the gun exchange. If the driver had Mr. Malachi Mitchell's gun, why did he need to pull a separate gun out? Why was a separate gun introduced? That almost makes me feel like there was another person in the car. Because why wouldn't he just use the weapon on Mr. Mitchell unless there was no bullets in there? Now, maybe there was no bullets, and that's where the need for the second gun came about, because that gun had the ammunition and was already set to be used. Okay, we got to think about it all. Okay, so the driver thought he was being followed. How did he and Mr. Mitchell meet? Did they meet in a parking lot? Did Mr. Mitchell get into the car? Did the driver go and pick Mr. Mitchell up and they drove along a path? What was the interaction? I would like to know those text messages, because that would be indicating what was the intention. Was the intention to meet and both people get out the car? Because that's how a lot of sales happen. You get out your car, I get out my car. Or did Mr. Mitchell get into the car? Was he forced into the car? We don't know, right? How did Mr. Mitchell arrive there? Did they have any prior knowledge of each other? Did they know each other? All of these questions, I'm sure Mr. Mitchell's family has a lot of questions, Okay, so let's continue. Deputies pulled over the vehicle shortly after this call, leading to the discovery of Mitchell's body. So, can you imagine? The struggle has just happened, the fight has broke out. You have taken a separate second gun and shot Mr. Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell is in that passenger seat, deceased, and the police come along, pull you over for a routine traffic stop, and you yourself have a deceased body in the car. And what does that mean? What does that look like? There's blood everywhere from that gunshot. Blood maybe on the glass, inside the car, in the interior. Blood on you, your clothing, and the police are now pulling you over for a routine traffic stop. Check it. I'm trying to flush out, lay out the scene for you. Okay? Let's continue. Authorities have not disclosed whether charges will be filed against the driver, nor have they determined if the shooting was self-defense or a crime. So who is the shooter? Who is the shooter? What do we know about the shooter? The sheriff's office has stated that their investigation remains active and that they will follow the evidence wherever it leads without rushing to judgment. Mitchell's family has expressed frustration over the lack of immediate arrest. His mother told Fox 5 Atlanta that she didn't even know her son was dead until she and his girlfriend tracked his phone's location and stumbled upon the crime scene. So, mom and Mr. Mitchell's girlfriend, they want to know, where is he at? Where is he at? They use some type of technology to track where his phone is. They decide to go to the location. Is it a feeling? Do you think something happened? Do you think something is wrong? Are you calling? Are you texting? He's not responding. And this triggers it all. But either way, they go to where the phone is being tracked and they come upon the crime scene. So police haven't really had opportunity to contact them to give the normal disclosure that a death has occurred, because all of this technology, it quickens things. It's happening so fast, right? So before the police have really an opportunity, they're at the crime scene. This is happening. Mom and girlfriend, they track the phone and now they're at the scene. Okay. Meanwhile, authorities are urging patience, emphasizing that they will not rush to judgment in the case. The sheriff's office also confirmed that the driver and his family have received death threats from a local criminal street gang. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office says it is still gathering evidence and conducting interviews. Whether charges will be filed against the driver remains unclear. Investigators will likely determine if the shooting was justified or if criminal charges are warranted. So what that means is they need to impound that vehicle. They need to see if they can find the bullet, if they recovered the gun. Is there, did they do a gun residue test to see if he had the gun residue on his hands? He said he was the shooter. Does he have the gun residue on his hands? Or is there possibly a second person in the car, right? Does he have the splatter? What is the direction of the splatter? Were they able to recover the shell if there was a shell? We have to think about it all, right? What was the direction of the entry wound for the shooting? What was the direction? The threats against the driver are also a concern for law enforcement as they work to ensure the safety of all parties involved while maintaining the integrity of the investigation. For now, authorities are urging the public to be patient as they piece together the full circumstances surrounding Mitchell's death. Okay, that is the article. Now, I do have more to share. So let me just get it together. Give me 1 second. So I have a video that I want to share, and actually two videos. I have a news video and I also have a video from the sheriff's department. So let's go with the sheriff's department video first. One second. I'm setting it up. My apologies for not having everything nicely prepared. Getting back into it, you guys. So just please be patient with me. My apologies. Okay, let's enlarge this. Let's get some sound here.
Good morning. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Tavares Spams from the Douglas County Sheriff's.
My apologies. This video is from the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. It's a statement about Malachi Mitchell, and it's about 2 minutes long. And then the second video is just a couple of minutes long. It's a video that's going to be an update. It's on a news broadcast, and mom has decided to file a civil lawsuit. Okay, so let's go with this video first.
Office. I would like to share some information on the case that happened last week in Douglas County that has garnered media coverage. There's been a lot of concern and speculation about how we're dealing with this case. I'm here to give you an update and give you the facts of what our investigators have come up with so far. The investigation into the January 29, 2025 shooting remains active and ongoing. Based on evidence from the crime scene and witness statements, investigators have determined the following. Evidence indicates that two black males who were familiar with one another met in Douglas County for the sale and purchase.
Pause. So Mr. Mitchell knew the person, knew the buyer that he was selling the gun to. Okay. So we have to think about that. We have to consider that. Okay. If you know the person and you're comfortable, maybe you are willing to get in the car. Maybe you're willing to not maybe do something in the daytime. You're comfortable because you know them and you're willing to do it at night. Or maybe you're willing to allow this person to pick you up, or you go with them by yourself. Okay, because you know who the person is, right? Maybe you're willing to get out of your vehicle and get into their vehicle. All of that plays into the comfortability, the knowledge that you're selling to someone that you know. But again, protect yourself always. Be very cautious, because when it comes to money and exchanging things, people may not necessarily do the right thing. Okay, let's continue.
Purchase of a firearm. After the seller received payment and the transaction was completed, a physical struggle broke out inside the vehicle over the control of the purchased firearm. During the altercation, the purchaser, who was also the driver of the vehicle, produced a second firearm and fatally shot Malachi Mitchell. Believing he was being set up and possibly followed, the driver fled the scene. Just minutes later,
Okay, let's pause. So if you're being followed, does that mean that when Malachi allegedly got in the car, did you drive around? Did you have a discussion about the purchase? Um, if you're being followed, that makes me believe that you were driving, you were moving. The vehicle was not stationary. You did not both get out of a car. You did not both show up at a meeting location and do this exchange. Malachi at some point got in this vehicle, and now the driver is driving the vehicle. Okay. All of that matters. Okay. Let's continue.
deputies stopped him for his erratic driving behavior and discovered Mitchell's body. Investigators have confirmed that he was in contact with an individual at the time, providing.
I want to pause here. How much time passed? Because this is important. How much time passed from the initial meeting, Malachi getting in the car, wherever there was driving done, and the shooting, and when the car stopped? They're saying that this kind of happened right after that. The driver was driving erratic and he was in a panic and all of that. But how much time passed from the actual shooting when Malachi was shot, and then this interaction with the police happened, this routine traffic stop happened? That is also important, because was this life-saving measures? Did you think, let me get Malachi to the hospital? Malachi is not moving. Malachi might be losing his life. He may be, falling asleep. Let me try to get him some help. How much time was it between the shooting and the stop? I think it's very important. Okay, let's continue.
Limited information about the incident and its.
Also, let me pause here again. They say that the shooter called someone else. Why did the shooter not call 911? Why did the shooter not seek aid? If you have the thought to call someone to try to get advice, why didn't you just call 911? They can give you the best advice. This is where the closest hospital is. Is the person moving? Is the person breathing? Can you pull over? Can you get out the car? Can you try to apply life-saving measures? Can you give them CPR? All of that. You're calling someone that really cannot help you. Okay, call 911. Okay, let's continue.
Expressing fear that he had been set up and that he was being followed. Based on the witness's statement, the driver was clearly in a state of panic, uncertainty, and seeking rational advice from someone he was dealing with during this traumatic experience. We are continuing to withhold.
See, you know what? I have a problem with that. This shooter knows Malachi. They have some kind of past, some kind of crossing in life, and they know each other. So you don't call someone outside if you know this person. I'm not saying you have to care about them in a immense way, but if you know them, why not try to get them to a hospital? Why not call 911 above any number? Not seek advice. You know what the right thing is to do. Call 911, get to the closest, the nearest hospital, okay?
The driver's personal information because of what we consider to be credible threats of violence to him and his family over Mitchell's death from a local criminal street gang. Additionally, we are actively following leads related to these threats as part of our ongoing investigation. We want to assure the public that every aspect of this case is being thoroughly examined. Our investigators are following the evidence wherever it leads, and we will not rush to judgment or make an arrest based on media coverage, public pressure, or outside influence. We remain in contact with the Douglas County District Attorney's Office, and once the investigation is complete, the case will be submitted for their review.
Okay, so make it plain, right? Make it plain for us. Be clear, right? Be clear. Because at the end of the day, I understand what the police are saying. I also understand the concern for the shooter, and you should investigate threats. You can't threaten people. I know it happens all the time. The family is upset. The family is frustrated. The family is hurt. The family is really in mourning, and people are angry. People are hurt. And sometimes people say things that they don't necessarily mean. Sometimes they mean it. But overall, my focus is what happened in that car. What was the timing of it? Why did it happen? Why was there a second gun there? What was the direction of the shooter when they shot at Malachi, took his life? Was there one shot? Was there multiple shots? Um, was there any? And they said there was a witness. The person on the phone, they can only speak to that phone call. I'm referring to the actual shooting. Was there a witness to see that, to know about that? Was there cameras, etc.? And I would also like to know about the police body cam. What's on the police body cam? What did the police come upon? What did they see? How was the driver? Was the driver coherent? What did the driver say? Did the driver still have the gun that he used to shoot Malachi allegedly? What do we know about the driver? And did the driver have the gunshot residue on his hands? Did he have gloves? We got questions, baby. We got a lot of questions. And if I think about it more, if I assess everything, I'll probably have more questions. But let's go to the last video. So let me get this. All of the videos, as you know, have always been leaked on the Hidden Horror Facebook page. That is the page that has all of the information that you need to know. So please go to the Hidden Horror Facebook page. I also need you to become my friend, or what do they call it? I need you to like it or follow it. I need so many people to do that so I can start going on live again through Facebook. Okay. So please help me out there. I need 100 followers on Facebook. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let me share my screen for this last video. It's only a few minutes. Mom has made the decision to file a civil lawsuit. So let's hear about that. Okay. It's about 2.5 minutes long, less than that. Let's go. This is from Fox Local 5 Atlanta. It's titled Grieving Mom Says Last Person to See Her Son is Being Protected. Okay. And if that is the case, we want to know why. Is this person a connected person? Is this a person that is famous, or the family is famous? Are they somehow impacted by law enforcement? Do they have relatives, family in law enforcement? We don't know, right? But maybe all of this is going to unfold, okay, in the coming days. So let's play this video. My bad.
Law enforcement say they found his body in the car when they pulled over a driver for a traffic violation.
And investigators have not filed any charges yet. Fox 5's Kevin Stewart is live in Douglasville at the county sheriff's office with more. Kevin?
Investigators say they're still working on this case. This entire experience for the mother has been extremely painful.
Kenya Mitchell is still so hurt, agonizing over the loss of her 21-year-old son, Malachi.
He was a strong, level-headed, kind, caring man.
Her emotion compounded with seething confusion about the investigation.
Not once have we had any compassion, any closure, any answers, not even my son's body.
All this began last Wednesday. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office confirms deputies conducted a traffic stop near Thornton Road and I-20 and discovered the driver and a deceased Mitchell inside. After questioning the driver, detectives let the person go.
So what happened? Where's the man that shot my son? Nobody has any answers. We're still investigating.
Mitchell believes her son was legally conducting a private sale of a gun to the driver. Tuesday afternoon, she and supporters gathered outside the Douglas County Sheriff's Office to demand answers. Investigators will only say the case is still under investigation, and their findings will be passed on to the district attorney for review. The department reported threats against the driver's family have led to heightened patrols by the sheriff's office. Still, Mitchell wonders, how can a person be caught with a body in a car on a traffic stop and be cleared to go home so soon, and there's still no resolution?
And for them to be protecting his family and him is beyond my understanding. You're creating a narrative.
Now, the body has not been released to the family because the GBI says that the autopsy has not been completed. I'm told that should happen soon. The mom insists she didn't know that until today when the media told her. Reporting live in Douglasville, Kevin Stewart, Fox.
And you know what? Let me close this. You know, I'm a mother, man. And how is there a lack of communication to mom? She still doesn't have his body. How long is it taking to do an autopsy? If I was mom, hire your own doctor, your own medical examiner, and do your own separate autopsy. Mom, you may have to come up with some money if you have to get a second separate autopsy. Just so you know. Please, everybody, let me know what you think. This got me on here. This got me on here today when I came across this very tragic murder, this death of Mr. Mitchell. I want to let you know that I am following the Idaho 4 murder case. I am going to come with a video. I want to talk about something that came out recently, and I was kind of surprised. They said that there was blood on the banister. Does this go with the narrative that there could be more than one killer? Because a lot of people felt that the killer did not go downstairs, that the killer entered the Idaho 4 house from the second floor. But does that give you a second thought that there could be more than one killer with that blood being on the banister? And I also believe they said that there was a bloody glove. So you have possibly someone wearing a glove and someone not wearing a glove. Or where did the blood come from? Is it the victim's blood? Is there unknown blood left? Was there a DNA workup done on that blood, on either the alleged glove or the blood that was on the railing? Okay, I'm going to do a video on that, so please check that out. And I have another update too on a different case, so I am going to try to squeeze in these videos. Please be patient with me. When I start home improvements, these projects are usually they take a while, and I've been focusing on certain parts of my property. So please be patient with me. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really, really appreciate it. I miss you guys. Just hang on with me. I am going to try to make room. Yeah, I'm going to have to fit it in. So thank you for spending this time with me. Please remember, stay smart, stay safe, stay savvy. Be well, all my friends. Do not go out in the dark to meet people. Please, even if you know them, do it in the daytime. Take someone with you. Go where there are cameras, where there are people active. Go to a grocery store parking lot. Go to a shopping mall parking lot. Go somewhere where people are coming and going. Go to the police station. That is a great place to meet, to do exchanges, especially and in particular when you're selling weapons, because you do not want to be robbed. You do not want to be killed unalive for selling a weapon. And again, a person can be buying that weapon and bring their own weapon. We don't know what happened exactly in this Malachi Mitchell case, but again, there are many, many questions, right, that need answers. And the police are going to take the time they need, but also they have to do that investigative work. They have to get those cameras. They have to search and canvass for witnesses. They have to go through and open up those cell phones, see what the history is. What was the intention? What was the plan for this meet up? How did Malachi get into the car? Was he picked up? Did he meet? Did he decide to get in the car? Was he forced in the car? Was there another party with them? Did the shooter have the gunshot residue? What was the direction of that weapon when it was pulled on Mr. Mitchell? Where was he shot? What was the angle? Was there more than one shot? What does the blood spatter look like within the car? A lot of questions. My condolences to the Mitchell family. Mom, you are going to be okay. Take life one moment at a time. This community supports you. They are behind you. We can feel your heartbreak. This is a great and tremendous loss for you and your family. And you can get through this, but you're going to have to be patient. Justice sometimes moves very slowly. And if you want the truth, continue to do the work. Ask those questions. Go to court. Try to get organizations behind you that can support you, because you're going to need it. Because this doesn't go away, this pain doesn't go away, the questions will not go away. It's going to be hard for you to find peace within the situation where your young son was murdered, was killed by another person that allegedly he knew. Why? Why did this happen to Malachi? That is the question. Everybody, I wish you well. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye, everybody. Bye.